Cluster lab practical exercise. So before performing the steps of lab practical exercise in the Microsoft Azure portal, let us review the concept of the load balancer. Let's assume that the 60 users want to access the Flipkart.com website for purchasing their products. Then the request of the 60 users will first goes to the load balancer, right? Then the load balancer will divide the load of the 60 users equally on the 4 servers, because in this scenario we are assuming that the server 1, server 2, server 3 and the server 4, these are the nodes which are included in the load balancing cluster, right? So what the load balancing balancer will do, the load balancer will divide the load of 60 users equally among the 4 servers. So if 60 users load will be divided, then it will come like 50, 15, 15 and 15, right? So 15 users request will be handled by the server 1, and the 15 users request will be handled by the server 2, and the 15 users request will be handled by the server 3, and the 15 users request will be handled by the server 4, right? So this is what the load balancer will do, right? In case any one of the server will goes down, let's say the server 1 will goes down, what will happen? These 15 users request will be distributed or handled by the server 2, server 3 and the server 4. How? So 15 users request will be equally added with the load of the existing load of the server 2, server 3 and the server 4. Let's say the existing load of the server 2, server 3 and the server 4 is 15 each, 15, 15, 15, right? If the server 1 goes down, what will happen? This 15 users request will be equally added among the server 2, server 3 and the server 4. So what will happen? It will be added plus 5 here. It also will become plus 5 here. It also will become plus 5, right? So this 5 and this 5 will come from the server 1, right? I hope so you understood what is the purpose of the load balancer and how the load balancer will provide the high availability solution. In case of the server 1 goes down, still the end users will get the request from the respected website to whom they want to get access the results, right? So now there is a time to perform the sequence of the steps, that how we can create and configure the load balancing cluster in the Microsoft Azure web portal. Okay, so the first step we will perform, that we will create 2 web server. Okay, so first step we will perform 2 virtual machine. These 2 virtual machines are web server. The second step we will perform, we will install load balancer Third step we will perform, we will configure the options of the load balancer. Fourth step we will perform, we will add two servers, two web servers in the pool of load balancer as the nodes of cluster. Fifth step, we will access the web site from outside with the help of public IP of load balancer. Right, so these are the 5 steps we need to perform during the configuration of the load balancer. Right, so let's see on the portal. So we have portal.azure.com. I already logged in with my credentials. Okay, the first of all, as I told you on the screen, that I need to create the 2 virtual machines. Right, I need to create the 2 virtual machines. So for creating the virtual machines, we need to go on the top left corner, we need to click on the virtual machines. Right, I think so net is very slow, so we are waiting. Okay, so now click on add. And click on create new, because we are going to create a new resource group. Give a name of the resource group. I am giving here a name, test. Now click on OK. Scroll down, give a name of the virtual machine. I'll give a name here, web server 1. So enter, select the nearest region to your place. So my nearest region is West India, so that's why I'm going to select here West India only. So we should always select the nearest region, because if you will choose the nearest region of your location, then it will avoid the latency. The latency will not be high. So availability, okay, then after that availability options. So you need to click on the availability options, click availability set, click create new. So what the availability set will do, availability set will contain the group of the nodes. So I'll give a name of the availability set as load balancer test. So now click on OK, scroll down, select the image that you want to use for creating your web server. Click on change size and select 709.28 as a plan in which you will get the hardware specifications that you will utilize during the virtual machine. That is the one virtual CPU, and the RAM is 1 gigs, 2 data disks. And now click on select, scroll down, enter the username as administrator1, and the password is capital P ASSWORD@123. Confirm the same password, capital P ASSWORD@123. So password is now confirmed, and here you need to select the inbound ports through which you can access your virtual servers or the web servers. So RDP 3389 port is already open, so you can choose the more ports that you want to allow for the inbound. So here we require HTTP port number 80 for our testing purpose and accessing the website. So now click on next, next again, and turn off the boot diagnostics. Click on review plus create. Now it will show you that according to the per hour basis, Microsoft how much Indian rupees it will deduct from your remaining credit. So my remaining credit is 6219.80. Out of this credit, Microsoft will deduct or charge me 0.9716 according to the per hourly basis. So I will leave as it is. I will go with the same one, and I will click on create. So initialization has been started. Now I will create one more virtual machine like the same method or steps. Till that time I will pause the video. So now I continued the steps for creating the second virtual machine or the second web server. So now I will give a name or specify a name for the second virtual machine is web server 2. So I will choose the nearest region. My nearest region is a location in which the data center is located, that is West India. So that is availability option. I will choose it, availability set, and availability set. Inside the availability set I will choose load balancer test, as I have created before along with the creation of the virtual server 1 or the web server 1 virtual machine. So image I will select Windows Server 2012 R2 data center. I will scroll down. The hardware plan I will choose which is suitable according to my requirement. It is 709.28, in which I will get the one virtual CPU, 1 gigs of RAM and 2 data disks. So I will go with the same one and I will click on select. Now assign the username as administrator1. ADMINISTRATOR administrator1. So be careful while assigning the username. don't do a mistake while assigning the username. I assigned the username here administrator1 and I verified the spelling. Now uh, password is capital P A S S W O R D @123. Confirm the same password, capital P A S S W O R D @123. So password is confirmed. Now click on inbound ports, select HTTP port number 80 because at the time of verification of the load balancing cluster, I need to access the web service website from the web servers. So now click on next, next, next. Now turn off the boot diagnostics. Go ahead with the next, next. Okay, I need to do one thing. I will click on management. Okay, boot diagnostic I already did off. I thought it is on. So now finally click on review plus create. And create. Initialization has been started and deployment in progress messages is showing on the screen. Now I have to click on the top left corner, click on virtual machine so I can see what is the progress of the virtual machines or the web servers. So you can see on the screen web server 1 is showing the status as running. It means web server 1 creation has been successful, it is completed, and the resource group is test and the location is West India. So let's refresh the web portal page. Now it is showing the status of the web server 2 is creating. The resource group is test, location is West India. So let's wait for a moment until the status of the web server 2 also has been changed. Okay, will be changed. Now let's refresh. Now you can see here the status of the web server 2 is also has been changed. Now it is showing the status as running, resource group is test, location is West India. Now what we need to do, we need to install the web service role in both of the virtual machines. So for that purpose click on web server 1 and let's get access of this virtual machine with RDP connection. We can see here public IP address. Copy the public IP address of web server 1 virtual machine. Go to run. Type mstsc as we are doing usually and Ctrl+V press the button for pasting the public IP address. Click on connect. Enter the username administrator1 and the password is capital P ASSWORD @123. So this is the password. Click OK. Click yes. Now you can see here that we already took the RDP connection of the web server 1. First of all, go to run of the virtual machine and type firewall.cpl. Now a screen of firewall will be open in front of you. Click on turn Windows firewall on or off. Turn off the first firewall, turn off the second firewall, then click OK and close the windows of the firewall. So this we have done. Now we will install the web service role or the IIS role. So web service role in the Windows platform is called as IIS. So click on add roles and features, click on next, next again, next, and here we need to select the checkbox or the check mark of the IIS web server. Click on next, next again, next, next again, click install. The installation of the web service role has been started. So till that time, let's create a web page for the testing purpose. So go to the go to the file explorer, click C drive and click Windows. Okay, so we have to wait. Okay, so we have to wait until the web service role will be fully installed. So till that time, let's take a remote desktop connection for the second virtual machine also. So click on virtual machines, click on web server 2 VM, and you can see here a public IP address of the virtual machine 2 is 104.211.161.84. Just copy this IP address. So IP address is now copied. Go to run and type mstsc and press enter or click OK. Press Ctrl plus V key simultaneously and it will paste your public IP address that you have already copied before. Now click on connect. Now here enter your user name as administrator 1 and the password is capital P ASSWORD @123. Now click on OK. Click yes. Now turn off the firewall of the web server 2 also. Go to run and type firewall.cpl as usual. Now click on turn Windows firewall on or off. Turn off the first firewall, then second firewall, click OK. Now click on cross button. Now click on add roles and features, click next, click next again, click next again, and check mark the option web server IIS. Click add features, click next, 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 and install. So these were the steps we performed just to install the role IIS or web server. So let's see what happened on the where we are on the web server 1 virtual machine. So you can see on the screen that the role is already installed. Click on cross button and let's go to the C drive. Within the C drive, after the installation of the IIS role, a new folder has been created with the name inetpub, right? Remember that inetpub folder will be created automatically after the installation of the IIS role. Without the installation of the IIS role, inetpub folder will not be available. So now just double click on the inetpub folder. Further, double click on the www root folder and delete all the items which are inside the www root folder, and now create a web page, a new web page for the testing purpose, right? So I'm going to create a new web page. So that web page you can create inside the notepad document, notepad application. So I opened already the notepad application. So this I will type here, this is my web server 1. So I will click on file, I'll click on save as, then here I will assign a name started with the inverted comma. I will give it test.html inverted comma close. Click on save. Now close the notepad. Now you can see here the icon of this file has been changed. It is showing an Internet Explorer icon. It means to say that this is a web page, right? This is a web page I have created with the name test. The extension of this test file is the HTML. So now go to the server manager, click on tools, click on Internet Information Services. Now maximize this and now extend the web server option. Click on no and extend the sites. Remove the default website by clicking on the option remove. Click yes. Right click on the sites, click on add website, and here mention the name of the web page that we have now just created before. So the web page name is test.html and physical path. So click on the ellipsis and select the physical path. Click on C, extend the inetpub and select the subfolder www root. Why we selected www root? Because of the reason that inside this www root folder my web page or the website is located. So we already selected the www root. Now click on OK. Now select the IP address. This is 10.0.0.4 and click on OK. So we have done these the stars, we have done the steps, and now click on directory browsing, click on enable. Now click on sites and right click on test.html, click on set website defaults, click on OK. Right now click on test.html, double click and click on default document, click on add. Here mention the name of the web page or the website that just now before you have created. So web page or the website name is test.html. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language. So hypertext markup language is used for designing the web pages or websites. So now click on OK. Okay, so now let's try to access this web page locally from this virtual machine only. Later we will access from the outside with the help of the load balancing cluster from the load balancer through the load balancer. Okay, now click on run and type iexplore.exe. Now click on OK. It's taking some time, bit of time. So now enter the IP address 10.0.0.4, right? And let's check whether it is showing the web page or not. Yes, wow, wonderful. So this is my web server 1, it is showing. Now we have checked locally in the same virtual machine in which we have created. Okay, so just I wanted to verify whether my web page is working or not in the local machine or not. So now exactly the same steps we need to perform in the web server 2 virtual machine. So let's minimize this and let's move on towards the second virtual machine, which is the web server 2 virtual machine. Okay, wonderful. So IAS role has been already installed in the web server 2. Click on console. Now click on file explorer because we want to create the same lookalike web page in the web server 2 also and within the www root. So click on C and you can see here inetpub folder is already. Click on inetpub folder, double click on www root. So delete everything whatever inside the www root folder. So I will delete. Now I will create a web page like the same way as we had created in the web server 1. So open the notepad and here this time you will type here, this is my web server 2, right? So I will click on file, I'll click on save as. So I'll give a name test.html. okay, but don't forget to give a file name inside the quotation marks, okay, inside the inverted commas. So click save. Now close the notepad. You can see here the web page has been created and the extension is HTML document. So now go to the server manager, click on tools, click on internet information services IAS manager. Okay, great. Now extend the web server 2, click on no, extend sites, remove the default website as we had done before, click yes. Now right click on sites, click on add website, give a name of the web page or the website just now you have created in the web server 2. So the name is test.html. okay, mention the physical path of the path or the location where my web page or the website is located in this server. So extend the C. Here you can find inetpub, scroll down and you can find the www root So this is an exactly folder in which my website or the web page recently I have created is located. Now click on OK. Now the IP address, select the IP address, click on OK. Click on directory browsing, click enable. Now again click on test.html, click on default documents, click on add, and here mention the name of the web page or the website. So the name of the web page or the website is test.html. Click OK. So now double click on sites, and now right click on test.html, click set website defaults, and leave everything as it is. Click OK. Now let's verify locally whether this web page is opening or not in the local virtual machine, virtual web server 1. So inside the run window, type iexplore.exe. Now click on OK. So now the Internet Explorer web browser is opening. I need to enter the IP address of the web server 2 virtual machine, which is 10.0.0.5. Now enter 10.0.0.5. Now enter. Wow. So this is my web server 2 screen is opening, or the web page is opening. So now we have confirmed that both of the servers, web servers has been configured perfectly. Now there is a time to do the further configuration in the load balancer options. So click on the top left screen of the web portal. Now click on load balancers option, click on add. Now scroll down the screen and select the existing resource group, and the resource group name is test. So enter the name of the load balancer that you want to assign. So I want to give a name test LB. Test LB means test load balancer. So you can give any name. It is not mandatory, hard and fast that you have to give exactly the same name as I have given test LB. So I told you that there are the two types of load balancer. One is internal load balancer and another is the public load balancer, right? So public is already selected by default, so we will go with the public, and here it is asking to assign the public IP address name. So I will give a name LBPIP. So load balancer PIP. So you can give any name, but I prefer to give the LBPIP because I feel this is easy to remember for me. So now click on review plus create. Now the validation passed status is showing. Now click on create. So deployment of the load balancer has been started. So it is succeeded very soon. Wow. Now click on the top left corner on the web portal, click on load balancers and just wait a moment, then click on refresh. Oh, there is something wrong going on. So let's refresh it again. Oh, portal.azure.com. Let's see. Now you can see here test LB load balancer has been created, right? So just I refreshed the page before and I found that test LB load balancer has been created inside the resource group name test, and the location is East US, right? East US. So what I did, I created the load balancer within the East US location, right? So but I forget to mention the location or select the location as West India, right? So let's delete this load balancer. Let's first select this load balancer and now click on delete. The click on the yes. Now deletion process has been started. Now I will click on add to create a new load balancer in my desired resource group and the desired region West India. So I will click on test, which is my existing resource group, and the load balancer name I will give it here my LB, my load balancer. So region I will select it here West India, which is my nearest location or the nearest data center location. So I will go with the public, okay, and here I will public IP address name I will assign here my PIP, okay. So go ahead with the same and click on review plus create, and this is a summary. It is showing what we have done. Click on create. So deployment has been started for the creation of the new load balancer with the name my LB. So let's go and click on the top left corner, click on load balancers. So the creation of the load balancer has been started in the background. After some moment we'll click on the refresh button on the top of the browser. Now click on refresh. Yes, my LB is a load balancer which is created successfully, and the resource group location is test, location is West India. Perfect. So now click on my LB. Now click on backend pools. So we have to configure only these three options. So backend pools, health probes, load balancing rules. So these are the three options we need to configure. So right now we are on the backend pools. Click on add inside the backend pool. Give a name of the backend pool. I'll give a name here my pool. Virtual name, virtual network is a default virtual network test-vnet. Select this. Now click on associate to, click on virtual machine. Now scroll down. So click on virtual machine. Click on the virtual machine with the name web server 1. Select the IP address against the which is associated with the web server 1, that is 10.0.0.4. Scroll down and click on the second option, which is down, and now this time select web server 2 and click on the 10.0.0.5 which is the IP address which is associated with the web server 2. Now click on add. So it is validating. Now you can see here my pool backend, my pool is created, right? So next step is click on the health probes, click on add and enter the name of the health probes. I will give a name here, my probe. You can give any name, so leave all the settings as it is. So just see here that it is showing the intervals 5 seconds, right? So what does it mean? It means to say that uh, with in between the every 5 seconds interval, the load balancer will check the nodes which is inside the cluster, that the node is working fine, healthy or not, right? So if the load balancer will miss consequently two failures, like if 5 seconds of 5 seconds plus 5 seconds, okay, till 10th seconds, uh, the load balancer will not get any response from the web server or any web server 1 or any one of the web servers in the example as we have seen on the screen, right? Then what will happen? The load balancer will consider that web server is down, and the load, the rest of the load which was handling before with that server will be diverted towards the other available servers, right? I hope you understood this point. Now click on OK. So now the probe is creating in the background and it is showing the status as updating. Let's wait till the time it has been updated completely. Now you can see here under the health probes, my probe has been created successfully. Now click on the next third option, load balancing rules. Click on add and give a name here, any name you can give it. I will give it here my rule. Now leave everything as it is and scroll down, and it is showing here the idle timeout in minutes, that is the 4 minutes. So it means to say that suppose if I am trying to access the network load balancing cluster or web, any one of the website which is inside the network load balancing cluster servers, right? So my first request, it will goes to the server number 1, okay, and if I will quickly refresh the web page, okay, and trying to access the same website again within the 4 minutes, my request will be uh, will goes to the same server, web server 1 again, till the time of the 4 minutes. When the 4 minutes limit will be time period will be crossed, if I will try again to access the web page, the request will goes to the web server 2, right? I hope you understand this point. You already understood this point, okay? Now click on OK. So let's wait till the time it has been completed and showing the status that update has been completed successfully. Now you can see here that it is still updating, showing the updating status. Now let's refresh it. Refresh the web page of the portal. Now the update status has been gone. So now I hope so that everything I have done from my side. So now let us do the testing of the network load balancing cluster in the Azure. So let's see what is the public IP address of the load balancer that we have created just now. Click on my LB and let us see what is the public IP address. So the public IP address I will note down separately somewhere else or in a notepad. So the public IP address is 104.211.167.247. so this is a public IP address. I will copy this public IP address and I will try to access the website from outside. So I copied the public IP address, I pasted the public IP address just now. I copied before on the web browser, then I pressed enter. Wow, wonderful. I can see it is showing this is my web server 1. Okay, so my practical lab exercise is successful and it is working fine. My network load balancer is working fine. I hope so. Today's lab exercise is very informative to all of you. Thank you very much.